folks? How you doing? This is The Truth Experience right here on American Liberty Radio Network. I'm your host, Wayne S. Pierce. I'm also the chief bottle washer around here and do all the things that people don't want to do. You know what I mean? So anyway, how you doing tonight? It is the 19th of February. 19th of June. I was looking at an article that said February. So anyway, yeah. 19th of June, 2017. So anyway, Nick Tucker just sent me a text about the Amazon Echo and the commercial featuring Alex Jones. They had a comical version of the Amazon Echo, and it's yeah. Anywho, lots of texts coming through, so you can hear the dings, and all that. So anyway, The Truth Experience, 19th June 2017. How are you doing, folks? I don't know how long I'm going to go. I know at least an hour, but I don't know if it's going to be longer than that. But anyway, so let me give a big old shout out to the one and only Mr. Nick Tucker over at Distorted Reality with Nick Tucker. Yeah, so I'm just sending him a text telling him that I'm on. So anyway, excuse me. I want to talk about a couple of things that came to mind earlier, and I started looking them up, and let's put it this way. I can be harsh and I can be, right up in your face, which of course I think you appreciate. But when I saw these things, or this thing, let me go to where I saw it. That way you're on the same page as I am. The Finsbury Mosque terror, what they're not telling you, rampant liberal hypocrisy exposed. I'm harsh. I'm in your face. And I'm trying to stay calm. I'm trying not to get excited. This article here at Infowars.com, Paul Joseph Watson wrote it, 19th June 2017. He said, to equate the sporadic threat of right-wing terror with the mechanized industrial-level bloodshed carried out in the name of Islam is intellectually dishonest and crass, yet more leftists are calling for Paul Joseph Watson and Tommy Robinson to be arrested than have ever called for actual terrorists to be deported. That right there, and remember, that's the UK, that's London. They don't have free speech as much as we do here. They have it, but you have to tone it down. So it is, it ticked me off to see that, because the whole issue of the terrorist attacks that have happened in the last several, the week or so, in this past week, in the last several days, just really pissed me off. And I'm going to put this on the Truth Experience on Facebook, but it pisses me off to no end because of the fact that we have people, we have relatives, we have, friends and family over in England, all of us, you, me, they're there. The question came about today after I saw this and after I heard about this and saw clips on YouTube and all of that. The question came to mind was, and still is, Why do we, or the UK, why do we not just close the damn borders? Okay? Why don't we? Why don't we just close the borders? And what pisses me off more than anything is the fact that you have these far left liberal bastards in Washington, D.C., and all over the place in every state, including California with Governor Jerry Brown, who want open borders. Well, don't you know that having open borders is what's causing the problem? You know, don't you understand that? I mean, I understand that people want to come from other countries and come to America and be free and safe and you know, all of that and believe in the American way and the American dream and all of that. No, the American way went in the toilet, and the American dream is a nightmare. And we have to work twice as hard, 3 times as hard to get what we want. And in comparison to what we did in the 1980s or the 1970s or the 1960s or whatever, we have to work that much harder to overcome the boundaries and to overcome the pitfalls that these far-left liberal bastards have put out in front of us. You know? It's just, see, I didn't want to rant. I didn't want to get angry, but pisses me off that people say, well, it's their right to be in this country and to live and to get out of their country if it's evil and bad and, you know. Brr, 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 brr. Okay. Let me turn the tables on you there. All you freaking fascist, leftist, wannabe communists and communists in general in the United States of America. Let me turn the tables on you. If you like that so much, get the hell out of the country. Pack your crap and get the hell out of the country. You don't need to be here. You don't need to be here. I make no apologies. You don't need to be here. Okay? You don't. You don't need to have the people that you are looking at from another country, specifically the Middle East or any place out in that area, coming over here and then throwing off of their, you know, whatever clothes they wore and putting on their hijabs and whatever, putting on whatever clothes they had packed away in their, you know, duffel bags or whatever, and starting a terror cell here and waiting for word from the Middle East to activate that cell. The FBI's own documents have shown that there are terror cells here in the U.S. I mean, we got. Let me let me put some comparison here and some contrast here. Let me do this. We've got the makings of civil wars going on in the United States of America right now. It's here. And not only that, you're worried about somebody else coming to this country when, in fact, in a good portion of where I live up here in Montana, we're sitting on a giant freaking caldera of a super volcano. So that's going to wipe out a good chunk of the United States of America if it blows anytime soon. I don't think it will. I think it's just rumbling like it has been over the last 20 or 30 years. But you never know. So if you're going to bitch, moan, and groan and get pissed off because somebody's against you and don't believe what you believe, or you're standing on the Democratic Socialist and the Republican Fascist side, but you're looking at people like me and saying that we need to be put in jail, you're the dumbass. Don't you think that these bigger issues are more important? If you're living anywhere near a volcano, do you not have the common sense to pack your crap and move? I mean, I seriously look at people each and every day, and I wonder, and it's just my own little thing that I do in my own little mind. I wonder about these people. Do they actually live their life so blinded by what's going on that they cannot see the bigger picture? I would have to say yes. And the only unfortunate part about that is I'm witnessing their internal struggles, and I'm watching them tear themselves apart because they cannot and will not put themselves in a position to where they're going to see the truth or the facts. Look at the bigger freaking picture, will you? Well, my senator's not doing this. Your senator's corrupt. Next. Move on. Well, my politician that I voted for said he was going to do this and she was going to do that, and they never did, and they've been in Congress for 15, 20 years, and they haven't even touched this subject. I got an idea there, jackass. Why don't you just hop on your bicycle and move on down the road? Big sigh, calming down. Going in Zen. Can we, if we are so able to, can we at least agree that these people come into this country are out to kill us? They leave their crap holes and they come over here to try to make this their crap hole that they left. Now, I'm hearing all this stuff from Dearborn, Michigan, and I'm hearing stuff from other, states around the country where Muslims are forcing Sharia law into these areas. Now, I don't know how true that is overall. I don't know. I have no clue. But I'm going to say this. Not one damn person from another country better come over here and try to change our laws. We have a Constitution and a Bill of Rights of the United States of America, and we can kick your ass out of this country just as fast as we allowed you to be here. Now, either pack your crap along with the people that support open borders and get the hell out of the country now. Now, if you don't like that, I don't care. Somebody once told me years ago, and I was talking like this back in the mid-90s, 96, 97. Somebody told me, geez, if you keep speaking up, you're going to have a target on your back. I said, where? Let me just put it right there right now. Go ahead. And people were, my friends were going, I don't know, man. It's like, they were calling me a conspiracy theorist then. They were saying all kinds of stuff. That's where I heard of a guy by the name of William Cooper, and I started listening to him a little bit, and I started listening to Art Bell, and I started listening to other people that were out there and on the fringes. This is before the internet, before I had and got on the internet in 1995, 96, and I just began to understand that there were other people that thought like me, but there were a lot of people criticizing them just like they criticized me, and I thought, hey, I'm in good company. I'm in excellent company. It seems like, And then about 98, 99, I began to hear of this guy by the name of Alex Jones, and I began to listen to him on iTunes. He was you can find his show on the internet. I don't think iTunes was around at that time, but I found it and I was listening to it, and I'm sitting there thinking, well, okay, I thought I sounded like a freaking conspiracy theorist nut job. In the beginning, yeah. Then I began to listen a little more and a little more and a little more. And then I stopped listening to him because, I have a life. And I picked him up again in 2009, 2010. And everything that he was saying at that time came true down the line. And every piece of opposition that came against him and anyone like him, I already knew was going to happen. Because it happened to me not 10 years prior. And I can tell you this much. There's not a day that goes by that I have any regrets. Can't go back and change it. I just learn from it and move on. But when people criticize me and start saying that I'm a conspiracy theorist, that I don't know what I'm talking about, that I'm not looking at the whole picture and, insert your criticism there, I got to look at them, give them the big middle finger and tell them, don't waste my time with your ignorance. I'm done with you. I'm not going to do it, folks. It's not going to happen. Now, we're looking at the whole picture. We're examining everything, not just one little faction, not just one little area. We're looking at everything. Okay, I do. Colleen McBreen, Infowars.com, 19 June 2017. Colonel Schaefer warns of bloody civil war, societal collapse. Quote, if the government doesn't stop violence from the left, the right will inevitably retaliate, unquote. Retired Lieutenant Colonel Anthony Schaefer went on Fox and Friends to give the MSN a dose of the truth by exposing the violent left and explaining how they will eventually cause a physical conflict with right-wing Americans. That's going up on the Truth Experience Facebook page. I'm going to tell you, folks, if you seriously believe that people like Alex Jones or Michael Savage or even Colonel Schaefer are wrong, you got some serious mental issues. You got some serious problems. And your indoctrination has taken hold. I cannot get around the fact that people will always look at for the shortest, quickest way for an answer. And when it doesn't align with them or fit within their little delusional paradigm, their little safe space, their little personal space, if it doesn't fit, they don't want it. It just amazes me, folks. It just amazes me that people are that indoctrinated. It's incredible, folks. Hey, if you're on the Spreaker side of things, drop in the chat room and say hi. Go to American Liberty Radio on Spreaker.com. Drop in the chat room. Let me know you're listening. I want you to remember this. Distorted Reality with Nick Tucker. him and I started talking. I was on his show last Friday. And we were talking about the Illuminati and Hollywood TV and the media. And when we get to talking, holy crap, we may have a note or two to stay on track, but we're just off the cuff, man. We go for it. And frankly, we don't care who we offend. Because if you ain't got thick skin, don't be listening, because we're gonna nail you, you know. Distorted Reality with Nick Tucker at distortedreality.podbean.com or Distorted Reality on American Liberty Radio Network on Spreaker.com. It's amazing that people have various views and various, perspectives. Nick and I may not agree. We agree on about 99.9% of what we talk about, but there are a few things we don't, see eye to eye on, and that's okay, because we just go through it and we investigate it and research it, talk about it, and sooner or later we're going, yeah, hey, that's it. Same thing with Brian Lang over at LiveTruthRadio.com. LiveTruthRadio.com with Brian Lang, Live Truth Radio and TV. Go check out Mr. Brian Lang over at LiveTruthRadio.com. He talks about it from a certain perspective. And that's really good, because you got to see it from all angles. And that's the thing about Nick Tucker and I. We know he's younger than I am. That's fine. I know he's smart. He's a brilliant man, because he sees this stuff and he understands this stuff. And there are things he talks about that I'm sitting there going, I never knew anything about that. So that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. So when Nick Tucker and I talk, there's no prompters, there's no nothing. We just go for it out of our memory, out of what we've learned, out of what we understand and researched. The same thing with another young fella, Mr. John Christopher J. Mann Collins over at thetruthwar.net. He talks about stuff. He gets right down and dirty with it. Everybody has a different perspective. We can listen to Alex Jones. I do. And I listen to Rush Limbaugh. I listen to Michael Savage. I listen to Laura Ingraham. I listen to Sean Hannity. The thing is you get a different variety of perspectives, or you get a variety of perspectives, and you can pretty much gauge how they're seeing things. And if you listen and if you pay attention, you can see what they're saying. You can hear what they're saying. And American Liberty Radio Network, when I started it and revamped it over time, I had to come up, I thought about, what am I going to present to people? It's just not going to be me sitting here behind a microphone talking to you folks. What product, what information am I going to share with you? And the first thing that popped into my mind was sharing the truth, one fact at a time, without all the BS. Because at that time, I was looking at the mainstream media going, there's something wrong here. Okay? And those problems that existed then, that was back 2010, that was 7 years ago, have now culminated in what we're seeing happening at Fox News. And all the fake news that's out there, and all the lies that are out there, and all the MSNBC people, and Rachel Maddow, and Mika Brzezinski. We're seeing this in our faces now. Okay? So when I started this network, I thought, what am I going to present to the people? I can talk about sports. I can talk about entertainment. And I have a show on here about that, about entertainment. But what am I going to present to you on the political spectrum And how am I going to present it to you to open up your eyes? Well, as Alex Jones says, and I'm sure a few other hosts around the world or around the United States have said, don't believe me, go out and check this stuff out yourself. So that's what I encourage you to do. You don't have to believe me. I'm encouraging you to go out and check this stuff out yourself. And I'm sure somebody's going to say, well, then why do we need to hear you if we can check it out ourselves? Different perspectives, different ideas, different ways of seeing things. And it helps. It helps a great deal. But the thing is that when you have people with varying views, you begin to get, it gets muddled sometimes. And it only winds up that way when you have disinformation thrown into the mix. From MSNBC, from NBC, Fox, ABC, CBS. You just get all that crap thrown in our faces. And it gets muddled. And the people that we were talking to and opening up to and showing who's behind the curtain and pushing the buttons and pulling the handles, they're sitting there going, hey, wait a minute. That news organization over there said, I shouldn't be listening to you because you guys have, you're conspiracy theorists. Let me bottom line it for you, shall I? Anybody that thinks and has common sense and can put two and two together understands it's not a conspiracy theory anymore. It's all in your face fact. And you can see it. What we're telling you, what myself, Nick Tucker, and everybody else is telling you, the opposition, the far left, the mainstream propaganda media is doing exactly what we tell you they're doing. And then we go one step further. We tell you who's infiltrated those news organizations. We tell you who's funding those news organizations. We tell you where the money's coming from. We help you connect the dots. So, this is what's going on. This is why American Liberty Radio Network exists. It's like watching the Wizard of Oz, and Toto goes to the curtain and pulls the curtain back and shows you the wizard, and he's going, pay no attention to the man behind the curtain. Well, that's what we're doing. I don't want to equate us to a little tiny dog, but we are the pit bull that rips that curtain down and points and says, look, woof, there it is. I often have asked myself where I want to take this network. What do I want to do with it? And it's very simple. I want to continue giving you what I know, because things change every 5 minutes. So I'm going to give you what I know, give you my experience of the last 40 years of research into geopolitics and various cultures and societies and various leaders of countries over the last 70 or 80 years in our history, and give you the history of America and exactly what it is and how it came about and who put it all together. And, I want to do that. Okay? And I want to keep doing that. And you're there wanting me to do this, wanting to hear what's going on. Awesome. Big thumbs up to you. Big virtual high five. So I want to come back and give you more news. Taking a break here. It's the bottom of the hour. So, folks, this is American Liberty Radio Network, AmericanLibertyRadio.weebly.com. And if you have any questions, ask American Liberty Radio at USA.com. American Liberty Radio at USA.com. I'll be back in 2 minutes. Don't go away. You know what you want. You want the truth. You want the facts without all the BS. American Liberty Radio Network. AmericanLibertyRadio.com.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Distorted Reality. I am your host, Nick Tucker, and I welcome you to the broadcast.
Distorted Reality with Nick Tucker. DistortedReality.podbean.com and Distorted Reality with Nick Tucker on American Liberty Radio Network.
There's a show that's not afraid to ask questions no one else will ask. Not afraid to say
what no one else will say.
Friday nights at 7 p.m. Listen to Restricted Airspace with Tina Marie, where no topic is off limits. Conspiracy theories, paranormal activities, hoaxes, the unexplained. It's what we talk about. Question everything. Trust no one. Restricted Airspace with Tina Marie. Friday at 7 p.m. on the KCOR Digital Radio Network out of Las Vegas, Nevada.
There is a storm on the horizon, a time of hardship and pain. This battle has been won, but the war against the machines rages on. Skynet's global network remains strong, but we will not quit until all of it is destroyed. This is John Connor. There is no fate but what we make.
Television is a circus, a carnival, a traveling troupe of acrobats, storytellers, dancers, singers, jugglers, sideshow freaks, lion tamers, and football players. We're in the boredom-killing business. I want you to get up right now and go to the window, open it, and stick your head out and yell, "I'm as mad as hell, and I'm not gonna take this anymore!"
American Liberty Radio Network. AmericanLibertyRadio.com. Hey folks, AmericanLibertyRadio.weebly.com. AmericanLibertyRadio.weebly.com is the website. That's our backup site. I'm working on the main site. Got some things I got to do to it. Email me, AmericanLibertyRadio@USA.com. AmericanLibertyRadio@USA.com. So how y'all doing? Y'all still there? Got a couple of things to mention, then I'll move on to something else. First of all, John Rappaport writes for Infowars.com, 19th of June 2017, buy your food from the CIA. Amazon buys Whole Foods. Quote, buy your food from the purest natural retailer in the world, the CIA. Oops, I mean Amazon. Oops, I mean Whole Foods. Unquote. That's going up on the Truth Experience on Facebook. You know, yeah. Did you know that Google and Facebook, by the way, were all... I'm going to say it this way because there's too many dots to connect. Google and Facebook were indirectly created by the CIA through their funding arm, In-Q-Tel. Go check that out. Like I said, don't believe me. Go check this stuff out on your own. Excuse me. Let's go to, as soon as my browser decides to want to work, let's go to RT.com. Data used by Trump campaign on 198 million Americans found exposed online. Yeah. Let's take a look at that one, shall we? This is on RT.com. Okay. 19th June 2017. California-based cybersecurity firm found a database of nearly 200 million American voters, along with their preferences and modeling data, left unsecure on an Amazon cloud server by data contractors working on Donald Trump's 2016 presidential bid. An analyst working with the cybersecurity company UpGuard, was able to access the files on June 12th, the company announced Monday. Chris Vickery was able to download 1.1 terabytes of information from the database. Another 24 terabytes, yes, folks, terabytes of files were correctly configured to prevent public access. It is unclear whether anyone else had accessed the files before they were secure on June 14th. This is going up on the Truth Experience Facebook page. Yes, folks, I still use Facebook. Yeah. But I'm also over on Gab.ai. You can catch me there on American Liberty Radio, at American Liberty Radio on Gab.ai. And you can catch Nick Tucker there as well, Gab.ai. Yeah, folks, all your data, if at least, I don't know if it's yours, but yeah, somebody found it. Unsecure. And, yeah, I'm just, it's, have they heard of McAfee? Just wondering, have they heard of that? There's so much that I want to talk about, but I want to get into more news. And I could ramble on for hours, but I won't. At some point, possibly next week, I'm going to be on Nick Tucker's show again. We're going to probably finish up our discussion about the Illuminati in Hollywood TV and the media. And we kind of gave it an overview last time, kind of not specifically naming names or situations or companies or, who funds who and, who's in bed with who. But we're going to do that. I know Nick Tucker's listening, so I know him and I mentioned it, and he said he was going to maybe talk about it on his own. But two heads are better than one, and we can get more information out. The Illuminati is alive and well, folks. Do not, and it's the Bavarian sect of the Illuminati, not the French sect. Although, you can't tell the difference anymore. Except through the politicians they support in America. You can't really tell the difference. And correct me if I'm wrong. I know Nick Tucker's listening. He just sent me a message during the break. But the French sect of the Illuminati are possibly, I could be wrong here, the Republican Party of America. And the Bavarian sect of the Illuminati is the Democrats. I could have that switched around. I don't know. Correct me if I'm wrong. And, anywho, he's texting me. That was that ding you heard. You can jump in the chat room if you can. If not, hey, thank you for sending me that. Yes, he said we will do the Illuminati, the part 2 of the Illuminati show. Coming up. I want to switch gears and go here because it's been in the news and I know he's talked about it quite a bit. Mr. Alex Jones, who was interviewed by, let me get my grammar straight, Megyn Kelly. Yeah. I want you to just, I'm going to step away from that just for a minute, and I'm going to ask you this. When you look at all the mainstream propaganda media that's out there and all the networks that are out there, and you watch a good portion of their shows without puking on yourself, how many of those hosts, those broadcasters, those newscasters, those puppet, those bobbleheads in front of the camera, how many of them are blonde and women? You ever just quite a few, huh? But anyway, Megyn Kelly left Fox, went over to MSNBC or NBC, and she interviewed Alex Jones. You can see the full unedited interview that she had with him on his site at Infowars.com. She lied. I heard it. And that's just the way it is. She has lost all credibility. And get this, NBC is trying to figure out an exit plan for her. That's how bad it is. TV critics, Megyn, quote, getting crushed in the big leagues, unquote. Jones' profile, quote, shallow, quote, failure of journalism, unquote. Faint praise, quote, not a complete disaster. Let's read some of that, shall we? And I'm sure there's video involved. Ezra Dulles over at Breitbart.com says establishment news outlets reviewing Megyn Kelly's controversial interview with radio host and InfoWars publisher Alex Jones have mostly panned the NBC News host for a, quote, shallow, unquote, profile that spends more time trying to justify itself than revealing anything interesting to her audience. Hence the NBC exit plan for Megyn Kelly. A handful of TV critics offered faint praise for Kelly's performance, with most saying that she avoided, quote-unquote, disaster or the, quote-unquote, worst-case scenario. However, the majority faulted the bold-face ratings grab for being less compelling than its subject warranted. In other words, it didn't live up to the hype, folks. Okay, didn't live up to the hype. It was a hit piece. I'm just going to plainly put it that way. It was a hit piece. Quote, Megyn Kelly is getting crushed in the big leagues and it's beginning to show, unquote, wrote Don Kaplan at the New York Daily News. Quote, sure, she looked tough as she grilled Jones, but Kelly delivered no news. She did not move the story of this monster forward, nor provide anything aside from the shallow profile, unquote. The rest of this is going to go up on the Truth Experience on Facebook for you guys to take a gander at. I'm going to say this. Alex Jones is right. Maybe not 100% of the time, but he's right. And he also says himself, if you listen to him, that if he got it wrong, he will correct it. How many in the mainstream propaganda media will do that? Hardly any of them. Okay? If it wasn't for Alex Jones really clarifying a few things that I had known since I was in high school from 1976 to 1980, and, looking into President Jimmy Carter's administration and getting into researching geopolitics, if it wasn't for Alex Jones doing that and saying things that are clarifying everything that I've known for many, many years, yeah, I wouldn't be sitting behind this mic. Because at one point, probably around 2004, somewhere around in there, 2003, I was getting to that point where I was shutting down. I didn't want to talk to anybody because people were asking me, and friends and, other people that I was hanging out with, hey, what's going on in the news? I heard this. What do you know? Because they knew that I researched this stuff. Well, I was about ready to shut down. I'm just like, don't ask me. Because I was just at that point of nobody's listening, nobody's getting the clue, nobody's, seeing the facts and seeing what's going on here. Nobody. I told friends of mine in 2004, 2005, about California and the state that it was in at that time. Remember, Gray Davis was booted out of office because he wanted to give free driver's licenses to illegal immigrants. Then they got Schwarzenegger. And everybody ran for governor. Gary Coleman, they had a stripper, they had, everybody running. And now, we have, or not we, I don't live there anymore, but Jerry Brown is governor again. I'm old enough to remember when he was governor the first time and he damn near destroyed the state. Well, now he's doing it. California is a communist state. It's ruined. It's completely ass backwards. And now people are getting pissed off at Jerry Brown for certain things, and the federal government is saying, hey, wait a minute, hold on. In other words, Jerry Brown, the dictator governor of California, is not playing by the rules of the elites out of Washington, D.C., and they're going, yo, dude, we got to rein you in a little bit. So there's that chess game going on. My point is, it's gotten to the point where we now see everything out in front of us. It is there. It is. I was telling my friends in 2004, 2005, California's going to go in the crapper. Somebody's going to, push the handle and it's going to go in the toilet. That's just the way it is. And people are going, no, that's not. California's strong. Yeah, well, that's what you get when you talk to far left liberals. And it's like the biggest governmental indoctrination institute in California is Berkeley. So, I mean, what do you get? And not far from there is Bohemian Grove. So, I'm just saying. I'm just putting it out there, folks. I'm not talking out of school here, man. I mean, I know this stuff. And it's impossible to talk to people who don't want to listen, number one. But number two, it's all out in front of them, and they're going to ignore it completely. They're not going to listen. Why would they want to listen to you? Nick Tucker's listening. I'm sure he faces that sometimes too as well. We're both in in this mode of these people literally do not want the truth and the facts. They don't. You can show them the plan. You can show them and connect the dots for them and show them where the money is coming from, and that CIA and the FBI and the federal government and the military industrial complex are funding ISIS and operating that and doing that, and they're funding Syria and they're doing. You can show these people this, and they'll look at you like, oh, that's not true. You got that someplace where, blah, blah, blah. And they'll. So in about 2003, 2004, I was about ready to just, not say anything to anybody, just go to work and just come home and not say anything. But then the proverbial rug was pulled out from underneath me once more in my life. And I got to the point where, and this may sound a little selfish, I got to the point where it's like, well, if it's not me telling them, who's going to tell them? And why would I want to, see these people, my friends, my family, be indoctrinated by this mainstream, propaganda media? So, I stepped back, I reset, regroup, and went forward with a whole new plan. Didn't know where I was going to go with it, but there it was. I moved to Nevada in 2006. And Nevada is they're getting very close to being California. Politically. And I was only maybe 30 minutes away from the state capitol in Carson City. Remember, you probably heard me tell that story. Me and my significant other walked into the Capitol building. And there was only one Capitol Guard there. I walked into the assembly where they have their assembly, where they meet and talk and do business. I walked into there, nobody there, but there was a podium, and I went up there and stood up there, and I got a picture of it. Nobody there, just one Capitol police officer. Me and my significant other walked up to the governor's door, and the secretary said, "May I help you?" And I said, "Hey, is the governor here?" She goes, "No, he's in Washington, D.C." I went, "Oh, okay." Yeah. Can't do that now. But that was like, I don't know, 2011, 2012. You know? So Nevada is getting very, very close to being California. It's getting that close. I know people in Nevada who are about ready to just leave. Nevada is one of the states, and I think businesses in general do this, but Nevada is one of those states where they only pay you enough to just, eke by. They don't, you got to save your money and work your ass off to get anything. But Nevada businesses, yeah, if they could get away with it, they'd pay you less than minimum wage, which I think right now is $8.25 in Nevada. If they offer you, if they don't offer you, some kind of healthcare coverage, it's $7.75, I think. Yeah, so why that? But Nevada's getting close. Nevada's getting as close to being like California as California is just like New York State. Just like Illinois. Just like many other states that have collapsed under liberal, democratic, socialist policies. And if you look back in history and you look at the structure, the political structure of each state, prior to December 5th, was it 1891, December 15th, 1791, excuse me, I said 1891, 1791. You look at the structures of each state, they had their own way of doing things. But they worked with other states. They were very well, the gears were greased and everything worked really well. Okay? And they took that concept from all the Native American tribes that were out there who were working together with one another and making sure they, took care of one another. December 15th, 1791 rolled around, and, well, we got a Constitution and a Bill of Rights of the United States of America, and, well, we still had Civil War. We still had wars going on. We still had, battles going on, for quite some time. And then later on, after the murder of President Abraham Lincoln, we had President Ulysses S. Grant. And he signed the Act of 1871, which at that point, with as many people that were in the United States, kind of worked really well to a point. And that was the point when it went from a constitutional republic to a socialist democracy. Yeah, that was a few years after that was signed. And ever since then, we've been living in hell. And it's just been one corrupt administration after another. I think there may have been one or two, maybe three that weren't so corrupt. Jimmy Carter was one of them. I think partially Gerald Ford, back after Nixon resigned, was, he was a filler. He really didn't do anything. My point is it's all out in front of you. It's all staring you in the face, people. It's all hanging out there, and, it's the truth, it's the facts, it's in your face. And if you don't like it, I don't know what to tell you. I really don't. Because my friends who are liberal, who are Democrat, who are, they live in California, obviously. They don't live up here in the wonderful state of Montana. But they tell me I'm full of crap until I show them every single piece of information that I have on the subject we were talking about, and then their face turns red and they go, yeah. I love doing that, folks. But see, I'm here giving you the information and hopefully encouraging you to go out and look at this stuff up. So let me get back to the news. Oh, I just looked at the time. Holy crap. Whew. I had no idea I talked for damn near a half hour. Holy crap. This is what happens when Nick Tucker and I when we start talking on his podcast. Holy mackerel. I mean, we just, we talk about a subject and just, dovetail that into something else. And after a while, an hour and a half goes by and we're like, what? It's over? Yeah, folks, it's like that. Hey, I'm going to go take a break. Not going to be long. It's the top of the hour. I think I'll go a little longer. And, fill you in on some more news that I saw earlier today. So, folks, it is the American Liberty Radio Network. This is The Truth Experience. Go to thetruthexperience.weebly.com, and I shall return after this. American Liberty Radio Network. Listener-supported online patriotic radio. With the new year upon us, the truth will be seen as fake news, and the lies from the propagandists of the mainstream media will forever be in the minds of those who have been indoctrinated with their disinformation. Your support of alternative and independent media is vitally important to the continuance of our freedom of speech and expression. It is very crucial that you consider supporting other media options. American Liberty Radio Network is supported by listeners. If you are a local business, consider supporting independent online patriotic radio with your advertising dollars as well. There are two options for you. One, you could advertise your product or service with us, or you can donate to the network. Consider contributing to independent media today. Consider American Liberty Radio Network. Contact us at AmericanLibertyRadio@USA.com or go to our website at AmericanLibertyRadio.com.
There's a show that's not afraid to ask questions no one else will ask. Not afraid to say
what no one else will say.
Friday nights at 7 p.m. Listen to Restricted Airspace with Tina Marie, where no topic is off limits. Conspiracy theories, paranormal activities, hoaxes, the unexplained. It's what we talk about. Question everything. Trust no one. Restricted Airspace with Tina Marie. Friday at 7 p.m. on the KCOR Digital Radio Network out of Las Vegas, Nevada.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Distorted Reality. I am your host, Nick Tucker, and I welcome you to the broadcast.
Distorted Reality with Nick Tucker. DistortedReality.podbean.com and Distorted Reality with Nick Tucker on American Liberty Radio Network. We the people have the power, for we are America. American Liberty Radio Network. AmericanLibertyRadio.com. This is American Liberty Radio Network on Spreaker.com. For more information, go to the website at AmericanLibertyRadio.com.
We have before us the opportunity to forge for ourselves and for future generations a new world order, a world where the rule of law, not the law of the jungle, governs the conduct of nations.
No, I think this would be the time, because you really need to bring China into the creation of a new world order.
A new world order.
Of a new world order.
A new world order.
World order.
Hey folks, how you doing? Welcome. 19th of June, 2017. This is the Truth Experience. How are you? This is the second hour. I don't know if I'm going to go to a full hour, but hey, I'm here for you. So there you go. This is your host, Wayne S. Pierce, right here on American Liberty Radio Network. Let me get some business out of the way there, all right? I do voiceovers, so if you advertisers out there need a voice, hey, it's right here. Here you go, right here. Call me. Email me. I will do your voiceovers. I will do characters. I will do, you name it, I'm here. I'm for hire. Hey, a guy's got to work. You know what I'm saying? Contact me. American Liberty Radio at USA.com. American Liberty Radio at USA.com. Yeah, I'm starting to sound like Alex Jones. So, Mr. Nick Tucker, if you're still hanging out there in the ether, listening to the show, how am I doing, buddy? Just let me know, because, hey, what can I say? Let's get on to some news, shall we? We're gonna go get some news there, all right? Anyway, we had a couple of ships, hit one another in the waters. We had a destroyer hit a container ship. You heard about that one? Yeah, they found 7 missing U.S. sailors. Yeah, they were dead. They were in the Navy destroyer. So, sorry about that. Positive energy and all that goes out to their families. It's sad to see that, but, it's important we remember them. If I can speak correctly. Not going to get into a whole lot. I'm over on Yahoo. I'm on Yahoo News. So if you want to follow me over there as well, that would be great. That way we can be on the same page. White Las Vegas officer charged in chokehold death of black man. Mr. Nick Tucker, that's up in your neck of the woods. Let me tell you what Reuters is saying about it. Okay. Yeah, just sent me a text, man. Thank you, Nick. Appreciate that. Reuters is reporting a white police officer in Las Vegas was arrested on Monday and charged with involuntary manslaughter in the death of a black man held in a chokehold for more than a minute, officials said. Officer Kenneth Lopera was charged, I believe that's how you pronounce that, sorry Kenneth, was charged on the same day the Clark County Coroner's Office ruled the May 14th death of Tashi Farmer, 40, near Las Vegas Strip, was a homicide due to police restraint. The coroner also found Farmer's enlarged heart and methamphetamine intoxication were contributing factors. Yeah. The two charges of involuntary manslaughter and oppression under color of office, never knew there was such a thing, brought against Lopera which could each carry a maximum sentence of 4 years in prison if he is convicted, follow a number of deaths of unarmed black men at the hands of the police in the United States that have spawned protests and the Black Lives Matter movement. I don't know why Reuters brought that up. Should have just left that out. That's going on, there's more to it, folks. So that's going on the Truth Experience on Facebook. So if you want to check things out there, that would be great. The Truth Experience on Facebook. I'm also on Gab.ai. Look for at American Liberty Radio on Gab.ai. I'm also on Google+. I'm all over the place. I'm on Twitter at RealWS Pierce. Yeah, I'm on Twitter, so send me some tweets, you twit. Anyway, Colorado High Court rules sex offenders can be charged for rape kits. Excuse me? What? Am I reading that correctly? Tom James over in Seattle. Sex offenders in Colorado can be forced to pay for the medical sexual assault examinations required for their victims, the state Supreme Court ruled on Monday. Oh, I see. While the state already required funds to be set aside to pay for the forensics tests widely known as rape kits, the ruling clarifies that convicted offenders can be charged directly for the costs of the tests for their victims. What? Nationally, many victims of sexual assault have to pay some of the cost of the rape kits. A recent study found that on average, victims with insurance ended up paying about $950 for medical services associated with rape kits. Federal law requires states to pay for sexual assault forensics exams, but hospitals often include more services than those associated with the rape kit alone. Well, right there, they just need to stop that crap. Seriously. Hospitals are just raking you over the coals, man. Yeah, oh my God. I'm putting that on the, there's more to it, of course, so I'm going to put that on the Truth Experience on Facebook. God, I don't know. I'm at the point where, as much as I have seen, I'm at the point where I'm just going to, not even restrain myself anymore. I'm just... I'm just at that edge. I'm not nuts. I'm not crazy. I'm not 5150. I'm not any of that. I'm just sick and tired of ignorant people. I'm just sick and tired of them. Did you go through school? Did you read, your books? Did you learn, I have the advantage of having been able in high school to take police science and was actually, my grades were so good in high school that the San Joaquin Delta College, when I went over there, that was one of the classes, police science, was one class that I, needed to get into college. And they said I could breeze through that class with no problem. And I'm like, really? So I didn't go because, at that time you're, right out of high school, you're 17, you're like, do I really want to go to more school? Holy crap. And I agree. I was watching, speaking of which, I know I wasn't going to ramble on, but speaking of which, I was watching, I was watching YouTube today. As I watch clips on YouTube, Philip DeFranco and other people as well, Secure Team 10 and things like that. And I came across Jesse Ventura on Off the Grid on orca.com on that site, but it was on YouTube, and he had Henry Rollins on. Henry Rollins, actor, author, frontman for the Rollins Band and former frontman for Black Flag. He was on there, and I gotta tell you, Henry Rollins is a very, very brilliant man. He said, why are you going to spend, and he was talking about school loans and how they don't work. And, the gist of it was, why are you going to spend all that money to go to a 4-year college when you get out of that college, there's not going to be a job there that you went to school for? I've been saying that for the last 20 years. School loans are fraud. School loans are just... Debt is built into school loans because the jobs are not going to be there. Okay? It's not. Okay? Work hard, do what you have to do, go from there. I've learned as much as I learned outside of college, and I can debate any college professor who would want to debate me. Go ahead, bring your information. I got information too. Let's have a debate. School loans put you in perpetual debt that you will never, ever, ever get out of. And I'll tell you why. Now, some people are fortunate enough to have paid their school loans off. I know attorneys, I know doctors that say, what, school loan? Pfft, I haven't touched that thing in 30 years. They're not going to pay it. Why would they? You know what I mean? Some of them do. Very rare you get somebody that actually pays those things off. But, you want to talk about a financial bubble that is about to explode. That's your school loan, your guaranteed student loans, your school loans and all. That's going to go away. Before there were school loans, before there was financial aid, yeah, go talk to your grandparents who went to college, if they did. They had to work their ass off to go to a full-time job and then go to school. I know a woman right now, if she's still alive, who at 45, when she was 45 years old, went to college to get a degree in general education. It took her a while because she had to, had a day job, but she got it. And what did it give her? Well, she worked in the school district in San Joaquin County where I lived. So she had an advantage, but, my niece who went to Stanislaus State in California, she has school loans. I should know. I talked to my brother and he pays them. So, and my brother literally told him, it's how much a month? He goes, I can't afford that. And they finally agreed on a payment plan, to pay it back. My brother's satisfied with the payment plan that they agreed to, and he's like, yeah, now I can pay it, So it literally, and my brother makes bank, man. He's got some money. So he's not, he's not starving. Let's put it that way. But it really puts everything into perspective when you look at, and this is what I wanted to talk about, was the credit of the United States of America. Go to usdebtclock.org. You tell me how much credit this country has. It doesn't. We're in negative land here, folks. We have no credit whatsoever. Okay, it was, and some of your financial people will say, yeah, it was 5-star, now it's 4, and that was like 5 years ago. So I don't know where it is now. But you look at usdebtclock.org. Try to say that 5 times fast. I'll tell you exactly what it is. It is, as soon as my web browser decides that it wants to work, it is $19.9 trillion, folks. and some change, and it keeps going up. By the way, that 19.9 trillion, yeah, right. Yeah. Add derivatives on top of that. We're looking at it somewhere in the vicinity of about $3 quadrillion in debt. Who do we owe this money to? Seriously? Get this. U.S. national debt, $19.949 trillion, $19 trillion. We're closing in on 20 real damn quick. U.S. federal tax revenue up 75% to $3.3 trillion. Hello? Do the math, folks. do the freaking math. Oh, by the way, the gross domestic product? Financial people such as Gerald Celente have said that if the gross domestic product rises above the national debt, we're underwater and we're going to collapse. Well, he doesn't say that, but you can crunch the numbers yourself and find out that, yeah, pretty much. Our U.S. gross domestic product right now is $19 trillion, $90 billion. Okay, so do the math, folks. I'll put that little link on the Truth Experience. We're broke, folks. This is why I advocate and push for closing the damn borders. Okay? Fortunately, there are some people 10, 15 years ago, whatever it was, that came here legally. They're here, they're working, they're fine, they're okay, not a problem, okay. But no, in the last 6 or 7 years, no, close the damn border. I would even go as far as saying put 50,000 troops on the southern border right now. The government won't do that. Don't even depend on Washington, D.C. to even do that. Don't even depend on the military-industrial complex to do that. We, the people, have to do that, and people are doing that. They don't tell you this, and they don't share with you any of this information as far as MSM goes, the mainstream propaganda media, but there are militia groups down in the southern part of the United States walking around that border. Okay, so, and the federal government doesn't like it. Well, piss on the federal government. I would say a few things, but I won't. But you get the point, right? Some more news from Yahoo News. We've had shootings all over the place. We had a shooting in California at a UPS outlet there. We had we got people in the UK getting run over by cars, okay? I mean, people just like plow through Muslims in cars, you know? I mean, it's that bad, okay? I mean, it's just that freaking bad, all right? Fired factory worker, this is from Reuters, fired factory worker kills 5 at former Florida workplace. What? I don't mean to laugh or make light of this, but what the hell is going on, folks? You tell me. You got anything to add to that, Nick? What in the hell is going on? This is from Bernie Woodall, at Reuters. Now, get this. This is from the 5th of June, 2017. It's a few weeks back. U.S. Army veteran who had been fired from his job at an awnings factory in April returned to his old workplace near Orlando, Florida on Monday and fatally shot 5 people he had targeted before killing himself, a county sheriff said. Well, okay, we don't have to deal with that now. Yeah, so I'm putting that on, because I read it and I read the headline, and all that. That's going on the Truth Experience on Facebook. What is up with these people? What is freaking up with these people? Are they... Is it GMO? Is it chemtrails? What the hell, man? These people just go freaking nuts, man. I mean, yeah, I've been fired from jobs before. That didn't mean I was going to go grab my, Glock and go back and, fill these people with holes. It's just, that's stupid. That's just stupid. U.S. top court again faults North Carolina on voting rights. Holy crap. Are we doing that crap again? If you live in the here's my perspective, folks. If you were born and raised in the United States of America, you have a right to vote, period. What, you want ID? Oh, screw you, But then again, I also believe that if you live in a certain county in a certain area and you have a polling place, you should not be allowed to go to, vote in one area and then go vote in another. That should be no. No. Big no. Go to timeout. Give me your ID. Lawrence Hurley over at Reuters, again, 5th of June, 2017. This was put up. I know this is like a few weeks old, but the U.S. Supreme Court on Monday faulted North Carolina again in a racially tinged voting rights case, upholding a lower court's ruling that Republican lawmakers mapped state legislative districts in a way that diluted the clout of black voters. North Carolina, folks. But the justices also threw out another ruling by the same panel of 3 federal judges ordering special elections by November to fill the state legislature seats at issue in the dispute. So there you go. So I give them years ago, I grew up with all sorts of people. I grew up with Spanish, Mexicans, Mexicans. I grew up with them. I grew up with black people. I grew up with, you name it, Asians. I lived in Stockton, California, folks. That's where I grew up. As I got older, I began to hang out with some other, people and all that. And I don't have a problem with it, with people of different colors and different backgrounds. And I don't. We live 2 doors down from a Japanese family where I grew up, and the father was in an internment camp in the war in Southern California. So, yeah, I grew up with these people, went to school with them. So, I don't have a problem with them. But see, the South, North Carolina, South Carolina, yada, yada, Florida, all that area. They all got a problem with some of us people from the North, okay? Because my dad, he's from Michigan, so I would, I'm a little biased, okay? But I'm not prejudiced. And I think people need to just knock the crap off and be humans. Okay? Just be good humans. And if you can't be good humans, then there's something wrong with you. Okay, I'm just saying. I'm just putting it out there. It's up on the Truth Experience on Facebook. I Yahoo gets their news from Reuters. Oh, yeah, the same people that said that Building 7 fell down about 30 minutes or so before it did on 9/11. Okay. All right. Yeah, I'll believe Reuters. Yeah, right. Let's go to Yahoo Politics. Oh, God. Healthcare declassified. Republicans are skeptical of the closed drafting process, but will they act to open it up? I can give you a resounding no on that one. Yahoo News. Andrew Ball. 19th of June. As my page decides to flip out here. 19th of June, 2017. Yahoo News peeks behind a curtain of secrecy surrounding the Republican healthcare bill to learn that we can, it says here, learn what we can about what it may contain. We'll combine our own reporting with the best insights from around the internet to give you the latest on the future of healthcare in America. So, with that teaser, I'm going to put the rest of that on the Truth Experience on Facebook. A lot of things going on. Let me promote a few people. If you are an independent artist, musician, singer, all that kind of thing, or you're an independent author or independent filmmaker, there's one place you need to go, and that would be Radio Rock 92.6 The Blitz. Radio Rock 92.6 The Blitz. They have moved their operation. It is no longer in Kami, California. It's going to be on the opposite side of the country. Specifically in Georgia. So, when they are back on the air, the Morning Brew is back on the air with your host, Mr. Tom Slick. You can go listen to him play all your independent hits from around the world. Yes, from around the world, from the UK to Australia, around the freaking world. There's a lot of independent musicians that are getting airtime on Radio Rock 92.6 The Blitz. If you want, and that would be the Morning Brew with your host Tom Slick right there on Radio Rock 92.6 The Blitz. If you want any more information about that, go to 926theblitz.rocks. That's ROCKS. 926theblitz.rocks. And tell Mr. Tom Slick that I sent you on over there. All right? There you go. So anyway, let me give you a, excuse me, a little promo here. A little promo here with Mr. Nick Tucker over at Distorted Reality with Nick Tucker. DistortedReality.podbean.com. Yes, we are going to do a part 2 of Illuminati in Hollywood and TV and media. Oh, and by the way, we forgot one. Music. Yeah. 2 words. Disney darlings. How about that one? So this time, we're going to name names. We're going to tell you the companies and the people behind them, and we're going to tell you everything that we know so far about the Illuminati and Hollywood and the TV and the media and the music and all that. And, oh, by the way, they're also in education, but that's a whole different podcast on its own. So, excuse me. So anyway, that's Mr. Nick Tucker over at Distorted Reality with Nick Tucker. And that's Distorted Reality with Nick Tucker on Facebook. Yes, he's still on Facebook. And like him, I'm getting censored, I believe, because I used to get more hits on my site than I did before, or on my page. And, I wonder. Anyway, so go check out Mr. Nick Tucker. Distorted Reality with Nick Tucker.podbean.com. You can also find him on Distorted Reality NT on Gab.ai. So there you go. Coming down to the bottom of the hour, and I think I've decided that I've pretty much filled you in on what's going on. I got you. I got you, dear. Got a podcast coming up tomorrow, the American Liberty Radio Network podcast, right here on American Liberty Radio Network. Check that out as soon as it's done and uploaded and all that good stuff, and go to AmericanLibertyRadio.weebly.com. Check that out. And, hey, I'm no Rush Limbaugh, but neither are you. So, I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Folks, as soon as I clear my throat, I am out of here. I'm going to go away now, and I'm going to enjoy the rest of my night. You guys do the same, and I'll talk to you tomorrow on the American Liberty Radio Network podcast right here on American Liberty Radio Network. AmericanLibertyRadio.weebly.com, and have a great night. I'll talk to you tomorrow.